Hello, fellow YouTubians. My name's Terry Andrews Jr., also known as the J5 Guru. So today is another, bending sheet metal, forming sheet metal kind of video. I'm doing this for all of you, YouTubians out there, J5 builders, and also my team. So this is, hey man, I'm no expert at this. This is on-the-job training here. So yeah, make mistakes, kind of tweak my process a little bit, what I'm, and come up with something that works. So I started out by doing, first by annealing the parts, which you set them up with a candle, as I showed in one of my previous videos. The acetylene torch lays it down too thick. By the time it lays the soot on so thick that by the time you've actually burned it all off, you've overheated the metal. So the candle method actually does work. It is much preferred. This is, see if I forget the exact thickness of this. Let me see here. I think it's like 62 thousandths. Let me see here. Survey says, yeah, 62 thou. So 16th of an inch, 6061 T6 aluminum, which our teammate Kyle had actually done on his CNC. So I set them up and then use the method before that I had mentioned with the MAP gas torch. Yep, a little bit of MAP gas, back and forth, flip the part around, back and forth, keep hitting it until the soot disappears, until it burns off. At which point I did it here, and you can see, yep, there is no soot on there whatsoever. Same thing down here, no soot. And you will also create a pretzel, a sheet metal pretzel. Yeah. So as you can see, it just naturally, when you anneal it, you're relieving stresses in here, and those stresses will warp your part. I can see down here that it's, well, let me see if you can see on camera, where it's a little wavy. Over here you can see it did a big bow this way. Not to worry, that's, nothing you can do about that. When you heat up metal like this and those stresses are relieving, yeah, it's going to do what it wants. Don't worry about it. I don't think. I haven't worried about it. Anyhow, so I have done 2 of these already. This was the first one I did. I kind of overbent it a little, so I had to go ahead and kind of tweak it a little bit. But as you can see, it does, once you put a bend in there, it straightens out. But of course, at this side, it's warped. That's okay. That side gets a bend in it, which will inherently straighten that out. I haven't figured out how to do that bend yet. So I'll work on that. It just gets a slight bend, but yeah. This is the second one I did. This turned out much better. Is it the second? Yeah, I think it is. Second one. Again, great idea that we came up with the bend gauges. They give you the, where you should be. Okay. Oops, there we go. And they vary a little bit. You see that one? That side's up a little bit. Not worried about that because quite honestly, when you put it on the cradle base, it doesn't take much to, yep, it's not much of a difference between right on and, yep. So when I match it up, and this is something else I've been working on too. I did the video where I did the transferring the hole to the cradle base sides. When you match things up, it will just naturally, you just push it down or pull it away from, and it will This is hard to do on camera. Uh, yeah, it will just, let's see here. I can get that. Well, you can kind of see right there, I guess. Let me see here. There we go. You just, yep, it will match right up. Hopefully that's in frame. But yeah, so, okay, so I got this last sheet. This is the bottom plate. So on my machine here, and I will be moving the camera when I actually do the bending because I'll end up being right in the way of the camera here and it's a little bit too far away. This is just a simple knife edge. I'm not sure the exact correct terminology, but yeah, it's just got a, it's a 3-in-1 machine. This one will shear down here. It will break, so bend, and it will also roll. The rollers, they ended up getting a little bit rusty on me, so I hit them with some WD-40, and I'll take a wire brush to them here when the time arises. But yeah, so what I need to do is I need to locate the knife edge right on the center fold line. I don't know if it'll show up on camera. Yep, there you go. See those lines? I'll go in close. There's 3 lines. The center line is where it's supposed to be folded, and that's where I want to be. So on my particular machine, what I did is I measured the width of this bottom V-cut plate, which is 750 thousandths. And since I know my knives are going down right about in the center of it, I take half of that, so 375 thousandths. So what I know is that I need to be 375 thousandths away from this center line, which in my particular case happens to be exactly, because the line itself from here to the center line is 4.5 inches. So I need to be at 4.875. So what I've done is I've hard set my calipers to that distance. Okay, now there you can see. So what I need to be able to do is I need to be able to slide this in here like this, because the bend will come up even though it's bent down right now. It actually bends up this way. Okay, still in frame. I need to be able to slide this in and know without being able to see the lines, and also I need to know that that line, that those knife edges are going to fall exactly where they need to. So what I came up with is this method. So I have this set at 4.875. What I'm doing is I'm using a 2-foot long steel rule. Okay, nice straight edge. I'm putting this on here and I am bringing this right about where I think it's about 375 thousandths below that line. I'm using some clamps to clamp this in here, just like that. And another clamp on the other side, just like that. So something like that. And this will be my guiding edge when I slide this in, that will butt up against this fold plate here. Okay, so what I do now is I very carefully come up here, I double check, make sure I'm still on, and I loosen the clamp a little bit, and with that I can push up with my finger on the knife edge, on the ruler's edge, and I can slide, there we go, slide it right up till it hits the bottom there. Do the same thing on this side. There we go there. Okay. Looks good. Come back over here. Check it again. Looks good. Okay. So now, and that's important to do. Because if this is not parallel to that fold line, if it's off, let's say like this sort of an angle or this way, the fold's not going to be straight, and it's never going to, the cradle base, nope, it's not going to work. The part's going to be junk. So let me see here. I'm going to gently set this down. I'll recheck it before I actually do the final fold here, just in case things decide to shift around on me. Okay, so let me move the camera here. And hopefully kind of hard to do, folks. Bear with me. There we go. Okay. So, originally when I did the folding on this, they weren't coming out right, and I realized my machine was actually out. It had been moved quite a few times, moving different residences, and those had gotten out of whack. So this was not nearly where it should have been. It was going downhill one way or the other, and it was creating, it was overbent on one side and underbent on the other. So that's something you need to be sure of when you do it. You'll notice here there is this little bit of a gap in here again. Let me see. Okay, where did I put that? Where did I put my bend gauge? Bear with me, folks. Here we go. My bend gauge fits in between there. This is so when I'm bending it, I can see exactly what's going on and see when I've hit my target. Okay, that is the number 4 gauge, so I'm good there. So what I'm going to do now is, and again, make sure you got this on the, you're bending in the correct direction. Okay, in this case, I'm going to be putting this in like this. Okay, and like I said, this edge will end up butting up against this plate. So I'm going to double check my measurement here again. And this will get me within a few gazillionths of an inch. I mean, this, yeah, I look good there. Yep, okay, good there. Good there. Okay, I'm happy with that. So, and again, my dog goes nuts. So I put this in here very carefully. Yes, Lola, I know. You see something outside that bugs you. So I slide this in here. Bring this up. Being very careful to just, here we go, there and there. Hopefully I'm not in everybody's way. Okay, looks good there, looks good there. And I can go ahead, yep, okay. I can go ahead and start my bend. I'm going to put my fold gauge in now. There we go. And then I look around to the back here. Yep. Let's see here. There we go. A bit more. Extremely close right there. Got to give it just a little tiny tweak. There we go. I know you can't see that on camera. Now, this machine's not perfect. I already know that one side's going to bend a little bit more than the other, so on and so forth. So I'm going to take this out carefully. I'm just going to slide my gauge down. Okay, you can see at this side, it's not bent enough. And at this side, it's overbent. That's fine. Okay, like I said, this has, it can flex a little bit. So, I'm going to take this apart here, take this apart here. Okay, and I am right on the fold line where I wanted to be. Excellent. And I'll just check this. So see, this one isn't folded quite enough, but there again, just a little bit of light pressure and it goes right to spec. And down here, it's a little bit overbent. Again, it's just the, you know, the nature of the machine I have. Okay, there's a little bit of gap in there. And again, this I could probably just literally just give it a tiny little tweak by hand. Actually, that was way too, see? That was too much. So I just tweak it over. Oh, there we go. Oh, almost. There we go. Perfect. This end here needs to be a little bit more on this side, so I'll just about. That's close enough for government work. So good there. Good there. Center doesn't matter. Again, this will conform. But yeah, so if I take this and put it up next to my other ones here. So the one I just did will be on top. So the one I just did is on top. It's actually the best out of all of them because, of course, I've had 3 times to do this, but there you go. So, yep. So there we go. Yeah. Hopefully that. Let me readjust my camera here. All right. A little bit further up. All right. So hopefully that helped some of you out. This is, yeah, you know, you get, it's a one-shot kind of deal. It is annealed and you can kind of work with it. You can, you know, bend it a little bit, but it's, yeah, just, it's got to be annealed. So yeah, I did these other ones and they turned out great. Again, this was the first time I, you know, I had, this was the simplest bend, 90 degree. It didn't tear or rip the material on any of these. So I have the annealing process down right. And I will show you, this was the first top plate I did. And this was when my machine, this is when I realized my machine was way out because the top, it overbent and actually started cracking along this edge here. Okay. And this one underbent. Okay. And then of course in the middle you can see how it's almost rounded. It's yeah, it's got a larger radius. So the plates in the machine itself were out of calibration. They weren't right, and that was causing all of these bad results I was getting. So I think I got my process down. Hopefully that helps someone out there out. So yeah. All right. So yeah. Lesson's over. Terry Andrews Jr., J5 Guru saying bye for now and go build something cool.